Manchester United 0, Man City 3. Talk to me, man. It was a bit heated in the studio with us. Look, we're a family. We're a family. Don't get twisted. We're a family, but you know sometimes a family gotta argue and hash these things out. We don't always agree. Talk to me though, sis. What on?
Well, where should we start? There's a lot going on at the club. The Old Trafford's on fire.
Yeah.
Carrington's on fire. It's poor decisions, poor selection, poor final third passing, poor decisions to take shots. It's just wrong.
That's wrong.
Let's start at the team selection, because in my personal opinion, we lost the game before we even kicked the ball. My personal opinion, McTominay should never have been starting. Now, a lot of people are going to be tricked by because he scored 3 goals in the last couple of games he's been playing. Well, let me tell you something.
She's going to tell you something.
He also gave away 2 penalties in the last previous games he's been playing as well. He's been doing stuff like 8-9 passes in 35 minutes. He is not adding anything to our attack. Okay, fair enough. He got the 2 goals against Brentford, gave us the 3 points. But let's take it in as a whole. He's not connecting play, he's not linking play. He had, right at the beginning, minutes, we were saying, we're not going to get many chances in this game. So when we do get it, doesn't matter if it's early on, middle or late, take the chances. Couldn't take his chance.
Yeah.
But that's the story of Man United lately.
Yeah.
The chances that we create, we can't finish them.
Yeah.
Why is that? Seems like we're not good enough.
So because we're not good. Well, that's it. Clinical. I think that's a thing, and I think someone mentioned it earlier that statistically United are making more chances. They're just not putting the ball in the back of the net.
Let me tell you something. Disgusting stat that come on while I was watching it. Our attackers have only scored 1 goal this season in the Premier League. Rashford against Arsenal.
Yeah.
No one else has done nothing. We've played 10 games. 1 goal. That is.
Do you think that's a midfield issue?
No, I don't think it's because they're getting in the position to have these opportunities, and it's down to them to put it in the back of the net. It's down to them to make the right pass.
Yeah.
A lot of the time we're seeing it. They're taking an extra touch and then they're having a bad touch, or they're taking an extra touch, they're not looking up. How many times we're watching the game, we're saying, pass the ball now, pass. They're holding on to the ball for too long. In the final third, we're just not good enough.
Yeah.
We're not good enough.
What do you think Erik Ten Hag's message today was? What do you think because there's been a lot made of style of play, a lot of people saying they haven't seen it, some people saying they see bits of it. What do you think his game plan today was for Man City?
Don't get battered. Don't get battered, because I can't see what else he's telling them to do out there. We are not compact. We don't play well on the counter-attack because we don't pass the ball at the right time. I don't know what he's telling them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what he's telling them. I'm not joking when I say he's saying just don't get battered, because what's happening on the pitch, what he's telling them is clearly not what's happening on the pitch. I'm sure he's not telling them go out there and concede 3 goals. Go out there and header the back of the other player's head. Go out there and bumping into your own player. Go out there, kick the ball off the pitch. Go out there, be stupid. I'm sure he's not telling them that, but this is what we're seeing week after week, game after game.
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing.
Was there anything that you actually saw today that leaves you optimistic for the rest of the season? And I know that's probably a tough question, but did you find any positive?
The man of the match for us, not for the whole, but us, Onana. The positive is he started off bad, but now we're seeing his confidence grow. We're seeing him making saves. That is a positive. Yeah,
the one from Haaland, when Haaland looked like he was going to score and he literally closed it back in the net.
That brings me to a point. Let me just quickly add.
Yeah, no problem.
Why do we not learn from our mistakes? There's 2 points I want to add in here. We've got players cheating on this pitch. They don't want to do their own jobs. They're shying away from their responsibilities. They're making their teammates do their job for them, because they're too lazy and dumb to do it themselves. For example, for Haaland's second goal, tell me why Dalot was not in the fullback position. Tell me why Dalot was not busting a gut to get back to help his team defend. Instead, I saw him jogging at the end the edge of our box.
Yeah.
Jogging at the edge of our box. And instead, we have Bruno Fernandes in his fullback position, trying to defend the cross that David Silva whipped across for Haaland to score his second goal.
Bernardo.
Did I say David Silva?
Yeah, Silva.
Well, you know, they all play. They play the game. They play the same.
Yeah, they play the
They're
same.
great.
Yeah.
Haaland scored his second goal. But let me just add as well, that goal was the carbon copy of the save that Onana made in the first half, at the end of the first half. They don't learn from their mistakes. We've been saying the whole game, City's game plan is very simple but very effective. They get the ball down the byline, they overlap, they pass it to the overlapping player, and they whip that ball across, and then they don't just whip it across, they actually look to find the player. Us now, it's like we close our eyes when we're playing. We're playing like our eyes are shut. Because it's just nonsense football. Football. Don't learn from our mistakes, and then there you have it, conceding goals.
What does Erik ten Hag do now? Because our community here at United View, they had a lot to say. They had a lot to say, Hayley. And one of the things that kept coming up was that, maybe ETH ain't good enough. His team selection today.
His team selection, how many times this season have I said his team selection has been poor? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Ten Hag out, but many a times this season, his team selection has not been good enough. People are saying, well, he's only picking what he's got. I'm telling you, I'm not saying I'm the manager, but if I was picking, and I know a lot of you lot as well, because you got sense out there, you're not going to be picking some of the players that he's been picking. Yeah?
Who would you like to see come out of the first team then? Because obviously, if it was up to you, so Hayley is the manager.
McTominay is not starting for me.
Okay.
He's a good impact player. You see him come on the pitch against Brentford, and he comes on and he gets goals for us. But to connect the play, to do interceptions, that's not his game. He's a passenger. We've got too many passengers on our team. The team is meaty. They're very, very meaty.
Yeah. In terms of, so you'd like McTominay to come out. Who would you like to come in then?
I'd like to see Hannibal come in there. And if Kobe Mainoo's fit, when he becomes fit, I'm saying Kobe Mainoo. People like to say, oh, but he's too young. Well, let me tell you something. Sir Alex Ferguson didn't say the class of 92 were too young. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And that Kobe Mainoo, for what I'm seeing so far, he's good enough. So get him on that pitch.
I think I think the midfield was a big issue today. To be fair, let's be honest, the whole team as a whole has not lived up to the standards that we should be putting ahead of ourselves. It almost feels that Ten Hag's gone, 2 steps forward and like 10 back this season.
That's what it feels like all the time.
This season,
all the time.
Do you think that the injuries, though? Do you think that the injuries, he gets a bit of a blag because of the injuries?
Let's be honest. If any team in the Premier League, their back four, you take them out and you put the substitute back four in, you're going to have problems. So, yes, I can understand why we have had those problems today. But if our players are on the bench, surely they should be fit enough to at least try and start. And if I'm not saying sacrifice them so that they're out for longer games, but at what point do the players inject up themselves to be solid enough to play a game? Because I'm sure that's what they used to do back in the day.
100%.
So why is it that they can't do that now? Varane's on the bench. We need you, bro. We need you, bro.
So on to the next game really quickly. What does Ten Hag have to do to pick them up?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. All I know is that the scoreline was not... The defeat, it wasn't a surprise. The scoreline wasn't a surprise. The performance wasn't a surprise because we've just been shit all season. All season is just the same stuff. But yet here we are still watching and supporting our team.
And I like the fact that you said that nothing was a surprise today.
Nothing.